What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Happy Monday. Thank God it's Monday, y'all. And I know some of y'all probably on your lunch break coming off of it. Maybe some of y'all going into your lunch break. Maybe some of y'all in the classroom. Maybe some of y'all at the doctor's office. Maybe some of y'all on the road because I got driving jobs. But nonetheless, I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all giving me half of y'all brain, half of y'all focus at the very least. I know some of y'all probably got one AirPod in, one AirPod out. Really appreciate all the love and support. And you guys continue to lock in every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with Chalk It Up Sports Daily. And I'm always grateful for that. I woke up pretty early today, and the first thing that was on my mind was, damn, I'm tired. But then the moment I got that feeling, the moment I hit that snooze button on my alarm and, try to get my thoughts together, I realized, you know what? It's Monday. Let me get up. Let me get my day started right. You know what I'm saying? Let me go let me go put on the tea kettle. Let me go hop in the shower, brush the teeth. You know what I'm saying? I had to get my engine going, and it's nothing like, to me at the very least, it's nothing like starting your day with that cup of tea, man. So again, like today is definitely not just given. Today is earned. You know, we all blessed by the best. And when your faith's strong, when your resilience is strong, when your grind is strong, listen, you'll get up, you'll get up for anything. And you'll be ready and willing for any and everything, man. I do not take these opportunities for granted. I try not to take my ability to communicate with you guys for granted, right? So, let's just hop right into it because it's some things to discuss about the Philadelphia Eagles that I'm not really too pleased with. And I got to be honest, man, like we continue to miss out on these top tier wide receivers. Like it just don't make sense to me. And I'm about to come out hot because I'm tight. I'm absolutely I'm absolutely peeved. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. There's no reason why we should continue to miss out on these top wide receivers who become available. So the Philadelphia Eagles were supposedly in the running for former Miami Dolphins wide receiver Devonta Parker. Remember, the Miami Dolphins traded for Tyreek Hill. They brought in Cedric Wilson in free agency. They drafted Jalen Waddle. So they pretty much had their top three targets all sorted out. That left Devonta Parker being the odd man out, correct? And then the rumor was he would then be on the trade block, which he ended up being. So we all were able to choreograph how this was going to play out. It was just a matter of whether or not the Eagles were going to make a play. And lo and behold, they did not make a play. As a matter of fact, the Miami Dolphins decided to trade him within the division. They traded him to the New England Patriots. The Patriots received Devonta Parker and the 2022 fifth-round pick, and the Dolphins received the 2023 third-round pick. Are you kidding me? The Patriots only had to give up a third-round pick. That's it. And Howie was hanging on to it for dear life. It wasn't even a third-round pick for this year. It was a third-round pick for the following year. How valuable is a third-round pick in 2023, Howie? You mean to tell me you couldn't cut that deal? You would have had Devonta Parker on a 2-year rental minimum. He had 2 years left on the contract. He would have been the perfect wide receiver to fit in next to Devontae Smith. Devonta Parker being 6'3", 220 pounds, 215 pounds, a big body possession type wide receiver who's not afraid to climb the ladder. He'll post you up real quick. Like, why do we continue to do this? And then you expect Jalen Hurts to be great. We expect Jalen Hurts to be great, but we're not making the moves necessary to give him that lane, that window to be great. You dig what I'm saying? Like we expecting Jalen Hurts to drive the damn car up the hill, but we ain't giving him no gas. Come on, man. Like, come on. The Patriots only gave up look, the Dolphins ended up giving them a pick on top of it. They sweetened it for him. The Patriots got Devonta Parker and a pick. The Dolphins only got one pick in return. Are you kidding me? Somebody make it make sense in the live chat. We got 5 people in here. Make sure you guys smash that like button on the way in. If you got to step out, make sure you hit that like button as well. I'll be here from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. today. Monday through Friday, as always. Chalking Up Sports Daily. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Like, come on. Like, it's ridiculous. The Patriots only gave up a 2023 third-round pick to get Devonta Parker. And they got a 5th-round pick on top of Devonta Parker. Shout out to Chris R. Shout out to Nina Austin. Easy Money. Hope y'all doing well today. Easy Money says, Parker should have been an Eagle. Pats robbed Miami. Literally robbery. What's a 3rd-round pick worth? They got a 5th-round pick too. Hurts has enough to be great now, though, with Smitty, Goddard, Quez, opened a ton with the best offensive line. It's not enough, bro. It's not enough. It's not enough. It wasn't enough last year. Why would it be enough this year? But ultimately, you're right. We should have made that trade, Easy Money. And I trust Devonta Smith to do what Devonta Smith does. I expect Dallas Goedert to be better this season. I expect Quez to improve. But at the end of the day, Quez is not a possession wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? That's not his style. He's that deep threat. You need a wide receiver to complement what your wide receivers already do well. We need that veteran guy to show these guys how to play the position. And we continue to expect Howie Roseman to do basic things at the GM position. This is basic. Someone's available. He has an expiring contract that's not even worth that much. You can get out of it in 1 year if you want, with a very minimal dead cap hit if you decide to cut him at any point. And you don't make the move. What do you have to lose by not making the move? What do you lose? What risk are you really taking? You didn't want to give up a 3rd-round pick for 2023. That's what they asked for. That's what they got. And look, they were so desperate to get rid of him. They traded him within the division. Come on, man. Ryan, talk to me. Like, how could they not? How could they not make this move? How could the Eagles not make this move for Devonta Parker? You see, it's sad because Howie Roseman is priding himself on remaining disciplined in the free agent market and in the trade market. He's priding himself on, hey, we have a plan. The free agency market is not over yet. But dog, how often are you going to continue to let these receivers just walk past the building and not even get them to come in? At what point do you look in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe I'm not doing enough as the GM for the Philadelphia Eagles? Tell me if I'm tripping, y'all, because in my eyes, Howie Roseman's job at this point, at the very least, is very simple. Bring in a veteran guy that has some level of productivity in the NFL. You want the height of your move at the wide receiver position is Zach Pascal? And this is no disrespect to Zach Pascal. I don't want that to get misconstrued. Zach Pascal has done with what he was given. Zach Pascal made the most of his opportunity. He was undrafted. But you have the opportunity to go get a guy like Devonta Parker, former 1st-round pick. A productive wide receiver, has dealt with some injuries the past couple years, but for the most part, productive. Went over 1,200 yards, I think it was. Went over 1,000 yards not too long, like 2 seasons ago. He has the talent, has the measurables, the physical tangibles. He cooked us every time we play. So why the hell we couldn't bring him in and unleash him on somebody else? You see, either we're not valuing these guys in the market enough, or we're undervaluing or overvaluing the guys we have. I like Quez Watkins, but is Quez Watkins a number 2? I don't know. I don't think so. Not right now. He hasn't shown me anything to show number 2 numbers. His numbers this past season were legit number 3 numbers. Dallas Goedert, he put up decent numbers, but he actually has a little bit of an excuse because he wasn't getting the number 1 tight end snaps until Ertz left, which was like after week 4, week 5, something like that. So he put up over 800 yards receiving, pretty productive. For a guy who just got number 1 tight end snaps, could have had way more yards, but he had some drops. He gonna clean that up. Devonta Smith had over 900 yards receiving, broke Deshaun Jackson's rookie receiving record. 900 yards is nothing in this NFL. Those are number 2 numbers. You know what I'm saying? So we need to up the expectation. We need to put pressure on these players. We need to put pressure on the GM, most importantly, because if we're expecting Jalen Hurts to take this astronomical jump, which I am, because I believe in him, we need to give him a fair shot at success. Shout out to my man Ryan Rowe for being here. Ivan Mims. Shout out to Michkowski. Appreciate you for being here as well, my man. Like, at what point do you take accountability, Howie Roseman? At what point will you take a risk? A risk. Scared money don't make no money. If we ever go broke, they're going to take our money. Like, come on. Stop it. You have a duty as the GM for the Philadelphia Eagles to put this team in the best possible position to succeed. He has not done that, especially on the offensive end. Every move that's been done throughout this free agency has been a defensive move, which I'm fine with. But you call Zach Pascal a move? You call that a play? You call that an upgrade? Come on. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Ryan says Parker is probably going to be too much value of a contract, creating less money for Devonta. You probably meant Devonta Smith. No, it wouldn't hurt anything. It wouldn't hurt anything. Easy Money says, but the film shows Smitty, Quez, Goddard open consistently. Quez is a deep threat. He was open deep. It was on Hurts. No doubt another wide receiver will help Hurts, though. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There were definitely moments where those guys were open, and I do not doubt it in any way. You know? But we can't deny that if we want Jalen Hurts to improve, we got to put some more talent around him. You see what they're doing in Miami? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson. They still got Mike Gesicki at tight end, who should have a breakout year this year. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, Jalen Waddle was a top 6 pick in the 2021 draft. That didn't stop them from going to get Tyreek Hill. It's an arms race in this NFL. It's an arms race, and you cannot afford to be left behind. You can't. This is not the era or the time to be passive. You saw what the Rams are doing. They loaded up Borden Allen Robinson. You saw what the Broncos did. Brought in Russell Wilson to pair with guys like Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Melvin Gordon. You see what the Chargers doing, bringing back what's my man name? Michael Williams. I forget the wide receiver's name in Los Angeles for the Chargers. But like they loaded up on the defensive line. Like teams understand where this league is trending. You need to have edge rushers. You need wide receivers. Obviously, you need an offensive line. That goes without saying. But you need edge rushers and you need wide receivers. And Stephen Joyce brings up a good point. The Eagles are a third world country in the arms race. Like, come on. Everybody else playing with ARs, AKs, and what are we doing? We sitting here still trying to make fire. Like, come on, man. Teams are light years ahead of us in this arms race that's going on in the NFL. And we're just sitting here like, nope, we're going to remain disciplined. We're going to stick to our formula. We're going to stick to our guns. Nah, man. That's not good enough for me. It never will be good enough for me. Mediocrity will never be good enough for me. It's malpractice at the GM position at this point. Malpractice. You are failing so far. You may be on to something, Stephen Joyce. We got BB guns. Everybody playing with live rounds. We got BB guns. Everybody else playing with dynamite. We got firecrackers. We got little sparklers. What's going on? At what point are we going to start to compete in the off season? At what point are we going to make a move to say, oh, okay, the Eagles they trying to make a move. They're trying to give Jalen Hurts every reason to succeed. See, my thing is, even if you make a move for a veteran or a decent name now, at the end of the day, it's only going to help the team. Because even if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, that's going to expose itself. That's going to expose itself. You don't want to expose it. Let it expose itself. If you put weapons around this young man, being Jalen Hurts, then the ball is in his court. You dig what I'm saying, y'all? You put the ball in his court. Like Quez Watkins is okay. He's cool right now. He had a good season. You know, he came out of nowhere. He was a good story. You know, Devonta Smith, you know, he was good, should have been better. I don't like the 40 catch disparity between his receptions versus his targets. He had 104 targets, only 64 receptions. Unacceptable. Some of them were drops. Some of them were bad balls thrown by Jalen Hurts. But the bottom line is we need to add more talent. We have to. If you want Jalen Hurts to be the best player that we can possibly have, you put the ball in his court. You don't want it to be where as though you don't want it to be where as though another team or he can say, well, they didn't put any pieces around me. I was forced to make the most with nothing. You don't want that to be on your resume. You want to be able to say, you know what? We put everything in front of this kid, and he either got it done or couldn't get it done. If he gets it done, more power to him. If he doesn't get it done, you know where the problem is. Don't overcomplicate your jobs. You put the pieces around him, and it's sink or swim. Don't overcomplicate your job. Duncan, what's going on? He says, I get what y'all saying. Quez is all right, but players like DK and Tyreek Hill demand different coverage. Look at Coop and Dak. Made them better. That's a fact. When you got a guy like that on the field, they absolutely have to account for him. There's nothing they can do. Even if he has a rough game, they have to account for him. Guys like Tyreek Hill demand respect just when they touch the turf. They can have 0 catches that game. 0 targets, but you got to account for them because of what they can do to you. I've seen so many games where Tyreek Hill just creates the separation. I don't know how. It's like he has another gear, another speed. It's like he's playing on all man, they playing on pro. It's ridiculous. Like, all true contenders have a passing game. You're absolutely right, Easy Money. Like, if you want Jalen Hurts to improve, you got to put more pieces around him. Everyone's going to make each other look good. That's the reality. But if the extent of your move in the offseason as it comes to the offense is Zach Pascal, then we are in a world of trouble. And look, the free agency market is not closed. It's not over. The draft hasn't passed yet, right? There are still some players who potentially may still be available. Like the word is DK Metcalf will be on the trade block. Guys like A.J. Brown are on the trade block. And Jalen Hurts is apparently recruiting A.J. Brown. And I don't blame him. You see, he's been quiet for the most part this offseason. It got to a point where he said, you know what, y'all letting everybody walk past the door. I got to do this my damn self. Hey, A.J. Brown, come rock out with your boy in Philly. You dig what I'm saying? Like, at what point are, like Jalen Hurts got to do the GM job for his damn self. Jalen Hurts got to recruit his own talent. Howie, why he got to do your job? You should see this already. Now, of course, DK Metcalf is looking for an extension. That's why the Seahawks are potentially going to trade him. A.J. Brown looking for an extension. That's why the Titans may potentially trade him. But these days, you're going to have to pay to play. No risk it, no biscuit. You can't expect to be given everything when you've given nothing. You got to pay these guys. It is what it is. You're not going to cheapskate the game. You're not going to cheat the game. Wide receivers are getting paid $20+ million now, especially if they top tier. A.J. Brown is going to command a $20 million+ contract. DK Metcalf is going to command a $20 million a year plus contract. It is what it's going to be. And my thing is, it makes me question, is it about the money? Because if it is, why didn't you trade for Devonta Parker? You would have had him on a cheap deal that would hardly harm your cap. But if it's not about the money, why aren't you going out signing guys in free agency, cutting a check, or trading for guys like DK or whatever? You dig what I'm saying? So what is it about? Do you believe in Jalen Hurts or don't you? Do you believe in Hurts or not? Is he the guy or not? You cannot continue to operate this way. Chris R says, I worry the Eagles are only signing defensive players because they don't trust Hurts and don't expect high-level quarterback play to get their money's worth. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, Chris, that's interesting. They already have him on a rookie deal, right? So at the very worst, if he's not the guy, if he doesn't prove to you that he's the guy this season, you trade him next offseason, get something for him, you draft your quarterback, and now you got a legit wide receiver just waiting in the rafters to get utilized properly. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like they're in a win-win situation, but they're acting like their backs are against the wall. And that's the problem with Howie Roseman right now. You can't be this disciplined to the point where you're suffering from paralysis by analysis. That's what's going on with the Eagles right now. Paralysis by analysis. Paralysis by analysis. Correct me if I'm wrong. We got 6 people in the live chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Really appreciate you guys. Like, it comes to a point where you have to do what's right. I don't care what your egos is telling you to do. Like you drafted this kid. You got rid of Carson Wentz because you supposedly believed in this kid. He brought you to the playoffs. Okay, what do you think would happen if he got better and you put more weapons around him? Improvement, correct? But now you're asking this young man to play with one arm tied behind his back with the current talent that he has. Like, outside of Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert, everybody else is questionable. I like Quez. I'm gonna be honest, I like Quez, but if in order for me to look at him as a number 2, he got to go for 800 yards or more, like 900 yards or more. He did what he could with what was given. I'll give him that. He was productive, but I saw drops here and there. There were times where he got open and the ball didn't come his way. I get all that. So it's a hand-in-glove fit. You can put it on Jalen Hurts. You can put it on the wide receivers. The bottom line is if they both improve at both positions, then what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. You can't expect this young man to grow leaps and bounds if you continue to leave him hanging. You have a young man who wants to get better. You have a young quarterback who believes in his own ability, who's smart, who approaches the game with a relentless mentality, doesn't give in, doesn't waver. He wants to be the franchise quarterback. He wants to get better. I believe that he can deliver some top-tier numbers. I believe he can be productive. But if the organization doesn't believe in him, if they're not making the necessary moves to show that they believe in him, then what do you do? How do you gauge this man's production? How do you judge this young man if they've given him nothing but ask for everything? Will Howie Roseman pull the trigger? Will he trade one of these first-round picks for a DK Metcalf or an A.J. Brown? I don't know. But like I said to you guys, you got to pay to play these days. You can't expect these players to just want to play on these one-year deals. You got to put the money out there. You got to dangle the carrot, baby. You got to make it worth their while. It's the reason why you wasn't in the running for Christian Kirk, because you don't want to cut the check. It's the reason why you wasn't in the running for Allen Robinson, because you don't want to cut the check. You feel me? Who else? It's the reason why you wasn't in the running for Bobby Wagner. You didn't want to cut the check. The pressure's on Howie Roseman to get this stuff done. And if you don't get it done, how can you say Jalen Hurts wasn't the guy? He didn't improve the way we thought he would. You've given him nothing. The only move you've made to show me that you care about his success is when you drafted Devonta Smith and then drafted Landon Dickerson right after that. Those two moves told me, okay, you care about where the ball's going and you care about where the ball's coming from. You care about him being protected and you care about him having somebody to throw the ball to. That made sense to me. That showed me belief. Now you got to take it up a notch. You got to make a free agent signing. And what about Chark, Chris? What about DJ Chark? He went to the Detroit Lions on a 1-year deal instead of coming to Philadelphia. And look, DJ Chark is trying to prove himself, right? But you don't think he could have got that 1-year deal here? Like, it begs the question. How much pull does Nick Sirianni have with Howie Roseman? Clearly not much, because Howie Roseman, because Nick Sirianni, I'm pretty sure he would love to have a guy like Devontae Parker. He would love to have a guy like a DJ Chark or Allen Robinson or Christian Kirk or Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams, whatever it is. Even if you think some of those guys were completely out of our price range, I just need you to fill me in this regard. You make yourself a player. I'm not giving Howie a pass, Duncan, for the Calvin Ridley trade. Yes, Calvin Ridley screwed up. But that shouldn't be your end-all, be-all. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's like the equivalent of saying, Jalen Hurts would have had this, that, and the third, but the drops. Okay, drops happen. All right. What you going to do after that? Okay, sometimes trades fall through. All right. What you going to do after that? I'm tired of talking about what happened. How are we going to respond? How are we going to respond, Duncan? That's the biggest thing. Trust me, I didn't forget. I don't talk about it because it means nothing. It means nothing if we didn't get the deal done. You dig what I'm saying? It may not be his fault that Ridley put his career on hold by gambling, but at the same time, it is his fault what happens anything after that. And Duncan, I want to believe something big is coming. I want to believe that. But so far, I haven't seen that. Now, I don't know if he's waiting for a particular player. I don't know if he's waiting for a certain situation or circumstance. But so far, Howie Roseman has not shown his belief in Jalen Hurts. Would you guys agree or disagree? I want to feel that something big is coming, Duncan. Trust me, I want to believe it. I want to believe something big is coming. I want to believe that we're going to trade for DK Metcalf or AJ Brown. I want to believe that. But it's not the trends aren't leaning that way because Howie doesn't want to spend the moolah. He doesn't want to cut the cheese. You dig what I'm saying? Duncan, you bring up a good point. If we get a first-round wide receiver, does that restore the wide receiver all-season debacle? It would give Jalen Hurts another weapon to go to, most definitely. But the thing is, though, we keep dipping into the pool of rookies when Howie Roseman doesn't have a good track record with wide receivers. You feel me, Duncan? Like, I would love to say it's as easy as drafting a wide receiver. But we don't have any veterans in it back there. And how much trust do we put in Howie to do it the right way? Y'all feel me? Because at the end of the day, right, Devonta Smith, extremely talented, extremely polished, can be a perennial 1,200 yard, 1,300 yard receiver if given opportunities. Dallas Goedert can be a perennial 1,000 yard tight end. Quez Watkins has potential to be a perennial 700, 800 yard receiver. You bring in a veteran, then those guys can soak up that knowledge like a sponge. They can become even more polished. You could take some pressure off of those young guys to lead. Devonta Smith is a second-year wide receiver. Quez Watkins, a third-year wide receiver. Jalen Reagor, come on, really? Greg Ward has been in the league for about 5 years, I think, 5 or 6 years. But he's not a natural wide receiver. He had to learn the position still. You feel what I'm saying? We need a veteran presence back there, someone who's respected. Drafting a first-round wide receiver will probably solve a talent issue, but we're banking on that person breaking out immediately. We're banking on that wide receiver just putting up Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase rookie numbers. That's an anomaly. It doesn't happen that often. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to just acclimate yourself to the game. Some guys are freaks of nature. They come out and give you 1,000 yards in their first year. Like, why are we allowing Howie Roseman to make football-related decisions when it comes to talent? If my head coach tell me what he need, I'm going out to go get that. I'm not going to just override him and say, no, this is what I think we need. He coached the team. Am I tripping, Blue City? Nick coaches the team. He know what he need. But since Howie Roseman, he put the Super Bowl team together, he automatically know what this team needs. Not all the time, bro, because you're approaching it from a logistical perspective. Like, Duncan, I wanted the workout. Don't get me wrong. I wanted the workout. But we have to put our quarterback and our other wide receivers and our tight ends in the best position to succeed. Dallas Goedert had somebody like Zach Ertz to learn the game from. Who did we put around Jalen Reagor or Devonta Smith or J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Who did we put them around for them to learn the game? It grinds my gears. Like, best believe Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, these guys, Dallas Goedert, they're putting in work in the offseason. They're putting in that work. I believe that wholeheartedly. I know Jalen Hurts will be as well. So my expectations are going to remain high, but Howie Roseman isn't doing this team any justice right now. And it also doesn't help the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles offseason workouts start April 25th. The voluntary offseason workouts start April 25th. There are 30 other teams starting ahead of us, 2 weeks ahead of us when it comes to voluntary offseason workouts. The only team that's starting after us are the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're starting May 3rd. We also don't have mandatory minicamp either this season. Tell me why. Every other team has a mandatory minicamp except for the Eagles and the Bengals. The Bengals I could probably make sense of for not starting earlier and having mandatory workouts because they came off that Super Bowl. You know, they want to give their guys some time to rest their bodies. I get that. But even the Rams are starting ahead of the Eagles, and they won the Super Bowl. Why are we starting so late when it comes to off-season voluntary workouts, and why don't we have a mandatory minicamp? We're acting like this Eagles team is already proven. They acting like this Eagles team, this roster, is just bleeding with talent. No, these guys need all the reps. These guys need all the opportunities. How can we become obsessed with improvement as a team if we're not putting guys in enough positions to succeed or to improve? Why aren't we starting early in April? Why don't we have mandatory minicamp? Tell me why, Nick Sirianni. Now, let me ask this question. Is it because that we're trying to safeguard against injuries? If that was the case, more teams would start later. But is that the case? Are we trying to safeguard against injuries? Are the Eagles doing the right thing by not starting voluntary workouts sooner and not having a mandatory minicamp? Are they trying to safeguard against injuries? What do you guys think? Because if you ask me, at the end of the day, you got to get your body used to physical contact. Why do you think the Eagles deal with so many soft tissue injuries? Because these guys are being babied. They're not being put through the ringer. They're not getting hardened. You know what I'm saying? They're not working on those. They're not working on taking those body shots. I don't like the fact that we're starting significantly later than everybody else. You got teams starting this week. We're starting like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. I don't like that. The first day of voluntary workouts starts April 25th. It doesn't make sense to me. You guys, shout out to my man Jay Will, Blue City Empire Band in the building. Blue City says, this is just my opinion. Maybe the reason why Jeffrey Loring and Harry Roseman does not want to give Nick Sirianni and Doug Peterson full control of the team is because of the Shaquille incident. I can see that, but who's asking for full control, Blue City? You dig what I'm saying? No one's asking for full control, but give him at least sit there and be like, hey, look, Nick, I was thinking this, we know what you're thinking. All right, cool. That's what you need. All right, I'm gonna go on and do that. I don't get that vibe. I feel like Nick Sirianni. I feel like Harry Roseman's doing what he wanted to do. I feel like Harry Roseman's building this team the way he want to build it. And Nick Sirianni got to do what he can. Jay Will, he says best bet for a vet wide receiver is a camp cut. None of the vet wide receivers out there are worth bringing into this organization, including Jarvis. My whole thing is they got to do something, Jay Will. Something. I mean, you got to agree with that. They got to do something. You can't just sit there and watch all these moves happening around you. Now, look, like I said, free agency has a long way to go still. The draft hasn't even happened yet, right? But I just felt like we could have made a much better move. We could have shown pretty early that, okay, Jalen Hurts, this is who we believe in right now. Maybe I'm being emotional, you guys. Let me know. Am I overreacting? Like I want y'all to tell me. Am I overreacting? Don't be shy. It's 13 people on the live stream. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Because if I'm overreacting, let me know. I just feel like you want to show Jalen Hurts that you want him to succeed. You want him to succeed. And Backyard Birds, if they're collaborating, man, I hope so. I hope so. I really do. Because if we're going to go wide receiver in the draft, I would love a guy like Treylon Burks. But back to my original point, why start voluntary minicamp so late? Voluntary training camp so late. Why? Now, last year, when Nick Sirianni came in as a rookie head coach, it made sense. It made perfect sense because, he's the new guy in. He wants to earn the respect of his veterans. He wants to spoon feed them. He don't want to just come in with a heavy hand. You want to come in and let them know that you're for the players. You care about their health. You don't want to come in just making demands and swinging your hammer around. Pause. You don't want to do that. You want to come in. You want to come correct, and you want to show that you have respect for these guys and the work they put in. Some of these guys, when he came in, are Super Bowl champions. You want to show respect to guys like that. So I understood starting camp late for those guys. I got it. But this season, you helped bring this team to the playoffs. They respect you. They respect you so much to the point where they saw you make adjustments when this team was not doing well passing the ball. They saw you completely shift the team's identity and become a running team. They respect you. So I don't understand why start late. I just don't get it. and no mandatory minicamp. Backyard, backyard trying to calm me down. Backyard Birds podcast, he's trying to calm me down, and I appreciate it. You know what? You may be onto something. Maybe we are trying to rush perfection. Maybe I am looking for the quick way to escape. Maybe. And I'm trusting you, Backyard Birds. Like, Lori said there are big moves to come. Okay. But listen, like you said, Backyard, we're not forgetting nothing. We're not forgetting nothing. I don't want to rush perfection. You're right. I don't want to rush it because sometimes when you rush things, you don't have a strong foundation. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's how Howie's approaching it. He's not trying to make a knee-jerk reaction. He wants to build a solid foundation. He wants to get younger. Maybe that's what he's doing. And we have no choice but to respect that because you want to get younger. This team has been very old for a long time. You want to get younger. You want to build that foundation of talent before you maybe make a hasty move. You want to get as far away from that $35 million cap hit that you had to take last season. You want to get as far away from that as possible. I get it. So I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting it. But when there are people available, you got to at least become a player, right? Be a player in this game. Like there's so many DBs available, like a Tyrann Mathieu, Landon Collins, Stephon Gilmore, Kyle Fuller. I know he's kind of regressing, but you're not asking him to be a number one. The bottom line is, the rumor is Tyrann Mathieu is in talks with the Eagles. I haven't heard anything about the Eagles talking to Landon Collins or Stephon Gilmore, maybe. I don't know. But if they have a plan, Backyard, we ain't got no choice but to trust it. Like you said, if it don't pay off, then we go after him. I'm just so eager, bro. I'm just so eager. And I want this team to be great. And I don't want us to be bottom feeders anymore. I don't want us to be in situations where we have to, like when we're hoping for guys to just break like a Jalen Reagor, who just doesn't have it, in my opinion, or a J.J. Whiteside, who just doesn't have it. I just want the best for this team. And you're right. Blue City, maybe we got spoiled. Maybe we got spoiled by that Super Bowl. When you get a Super Bowl championship, you feel like you should never be mediocre ever again. But teams have down years, and we were competitive. I want to say since 2017, we've been in the playoffs like 4 out of the 5 years, 5 out of the 6 years, something like that. We've been in the playoffs every year. We've been competitive, but we haven't been world beaters since our Super Bowl season. The following year, we had a chance to go back. I honestly feel if Alshon Jeffrey catch that ball, we're going to the conference championship and we're beating the Rams. I believe that. I firmly believe that. But that's revisionist history. I just want the best for this team. I want us to be as talented as we could be. I don't want us to make any hasty moves. I'm just curious about what we're going to do at the defensive backs position. Like, are we going to bring Steven Nelson back? What's the move with him? Are we going to draft a corner in the first round? Like, we have a lot of depth at the cornerback position in particular. We got a guy like Zach McPherson, who's supposed to take a big jump this year. Kerry Vincent Jr., Tay Gowan, Mac McCain, Craig James. We have a lot of depth at the cornerback position. And those guys are going to be competing. But I'm curious to see, are we going to get a cornerback in this upcoming draft? That's another thing I'm curious about. We got 3 first-round picks. I highly doubt we use all 3 of them. Maybe trade one back for the following draft. But we got 3 first-round picks. We got a chance to get a legit corner. I got a feeling Derek Stingley may fall. We're going to have a chance to get a guy like Kyrie Elam, Trent McDuffie. We're going to have a chance to get those kind of guys. But we have to recognize the fact that this team does have some improvement to do. Now, I will give Howie credit when it comes to this. He injected the linebacker room with some competition and some talent. I'll give credit where credit is due in that regard. He saw a legit hole, and he filled it. Hassan Reddick, Kaiser White. Then you still got a guy like Davion Taylor waiting in the rafters who's talented. Just got to stay healthy. You got TJ Edwards, Sean Bradley, who's waking up, who's just waiting for his opportunity. But the bottom line is, all you got to do is just be aggressive. Don't be hasty, but be aggressive. And you bring up a good point, Blue City Empire. How does a GM survive 3 head coaches? How? Man, the world may never know. The world may never know. But all I know is this. The Philadelphia Eagles have a chance to shift their fortune. They have a chance to draft a legit wide receiver. I'm a Traylon Burke fan, if I'm being honest. I like Traylon Burke more than Drake London. The word is they may trade for DK in the draft. They may trade for A.J. Brown during the draft. As the draft approaches, these teams get a little more desperate. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Howie Roseman's trying to fleece a team for them to make a hasty move or whatever. Maybe Howie Roseman is just preparing all his deals right now, preparing all his offers right now. I'm just curious, what does he do Monday through Friday? I'm ultra curious. But let's transition to some basketball talk. The Philadelphia 76ers, they went 2-0 over the weekend, beating the Charlotte Hornets, who are going to be in the play-in. The Cavs, who are also going to be in the play-in. We beat both of those teams. But I have a problem with us not beating the teams that actually matter to our championship aspirations. Not beating teams like the Bucks, not beating teams like Phoenix, losing to Brooklyn earlier in March. We got the Chicago Bulls number because right now we're the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, and the Bulls are the 5th seed. So if the playoffs started today, we would play the Chicago Bulls in the first round. But the way it's set up, everyone's a game or two within each other. Every time someone wins or loses, the bracket changes. So we can easily end up the 3rd seed or the 4th seed easily. Maybe even the 2nd seed if the teams fall off. And I know, Backyard, we did beat the Bucks earlier. We did. We beat them shorthanded without James Harden. We did. So maybe the Bucks, yeah, that'd be competitive. But my thing is, though, the teams like the Suns, the Denver Nuggets, the way the Sixers lost to the Bucks most recently, Giannis sealing the game with a block on Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is trying to get an MVP. We're trying to make it to the NBA championship. As it pertains to Joel Embiid's MVP, I don't know, man. They're not giving him any love. They're trying to say Jokic is ahead of him. They're trying to say Giannis is ahead of him now. And the sad thing is, Embiid has lost the most recent head-to-heads against those two players. And at the end of the day, people are going to have recency bias when it comes to this thing. I know Joel Embiid, he just dropped 44 the other day, right? He dropped 44 on the Cavs. "44, 17 boards, 5 blocks, 1 steal." But if you want, like, the Suns easily are the best team in the NBA right now. Every time we played them, we came close, and then they just clamped down at the end, and we can't close it out. I feel like we have coaching deficiencies more than anything. I understand our bench isn't the most talented. I know a lot of these top teams have a lot more depth than we do, but we can run with these guys. And it always seems like a coaching decision is what's holding us back. Like the Sixers clinched the playoff spot. We're in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where we fall, where we stand. Right now, the standings are the Miami Heat are the number 1 seed. The Celtics are the number 2 seed. Bucks are the 3. Sixers are 4. Bulls are 5. Raptors are 6. Cavaliers are 7. Hawks are 8. Hornets are 9. Nets are 10. The Cavaliers have a 2-game lead over the 8th through 10th seed. But the Hawks, the Hornets, the Nets, they're all within a game of each other. The Hornets and the Nets have the same record. The Hawks and the Hawks and the Hornets, they're a game apart. So, will the Brooklyn Nets get into the playoffs? I expect them to. Will they be caught slipping? Who knows? Who don't knows? But Glenn does. Backyard, that's funny. He said Glenn sucks. All I know is once we get into the playoffs, the stakes are higher. And it's going to be up to this team to step up when it matters most. And Doc Rivers, let's be clear about this. If Doc Rivers don't get this team out of the second round, he's out. He's out. And Backyard Birds, you don't think there's a team that can beat us in the series? Possibly. Possibly. But we have to handle our own business, right? We have to make sure nothing is missing on our side. We need James Harden to step his game up, to be more consistent. We need Tyrese Maxey to step up. Tobias Harris needs to step up. Matisse Thybulle, we're a better team when Matisse Thybulle is a threat on the court. Y'all feel what I'm saying? We're a better team when Matisse Thybulle is better. We're a better team when Shake Milton and Niang are hitting. You feel what I'm saying? I'm tired of guys like Paul Reed not getting no playing time. I'm tired of guys like Isaiah Joe not getting no playing time. How can you expect these young guys to improve if you're not giving them the playing time to do so? Charles Bassey. Come on. I like DeAndre Jordan, but he's showing his age every now and again. You got to get Charles Bassey out there. He athletic, he jump, he young, he got them young legs. I don't want to lose either, Backyard Birds. I don't want to lose. We got 8 people in the live stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I really appreciate the love and support. I'm giving you guys Chalk It Up Sports daily, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys keep it locked all throughout the week. Happy Monday. Man, oh man, happy Monday. Like, I know some people hate Mondays, but you have to welcome the Mondays. You got to welcome the grind. You got to welcome the resistance. Don't take the easy path. You know, if you got a hard time, like, wake up earlier. You know what I'm saying? And Chris, that's a very good point. I didn't know the Celtics remain in the schedule, but they got the Bulls, Bucks, and Grizzlies remaining. That's tough. There's a strong chance the Celtics may drop as far as in the seeding. There's a strong chance. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, anything can happen. You know what's so crazy? The Celtics and the Bucks can lose the remainder of their games, and the Sixers can easily become the number 1 seed if the Heat lose. Like, that's how tight it is. The Sixers are only 2.5 games back from the number 1 seed, and they have 4 games left. A lot can change. A lot can happen. Who do we want in the playoffs? Do we want the Bulls in the first round? Do we want to play the Raptors in the first round? Who do you guys want to play? Do you want to play Brooklyn in the first round? Huh? The Cavs? Who do you guys want in the first round? Give me the Bulls. Give me the Cavs. We got their number. Give me the Raptors. I don't want Brooklyn in the first round. You know what I actually want? I want Milwaukee to get the number 1 seed. I want Brooklyn to get that 8th seed. And I want them to cannibalize each other. I want them to push each other to the brink of 7 games. And by the time we come across one of them, take off the head. You get what I'm saying? The playoffs are all about matchups at this point. Once you get in, it's about matchups. And I just want the best for this team. I want the best for my city. At the end of the day, like Backyard Birds, you bring up a good point. Charles Bassey put up 35 points in the G League. 35. I mean, the G League is the G League, but that kid got talent. He got scoring ability. Maybe he can be the running mate behind Joel Embiid. I agree. If you got these kids ready earlier in the season, giving them playing time early in the season, they would be good right about now. You would have more depth. You would at least know what you have in your bench. Like, we got so many guys on that bench that we keep bringing up from the G League, then bringing them, then sending them back down to the blue coats, and they just keep like, what you calling them up for? If you ain't gonna give them no playing time, why are you calling them up, Glenn? Why don't you trust your young guys? That's my problem with Doc Rivers. You don't want to get young guys no tick. Put these guys on the clock. Let them run. Paul Reed, let them run. You got these old heads, man. This ain't the Celtics of 08, 09, man. You gotta let these young guys ball. Put them in. Give them an opportunity to earn their keep. That's just how I see it, though. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm crazy. But the Eagles got a lot of work to do. The Sixers got a lot of work to do. The road is just beginning. We haven't even talked about health. Can James Harden and Joel Embiid remain healthy throughout the playoffs? Can they survive the gauntlet? Man, I really wonder if we can compete with those top. I'm not even talking about the East anymore. Like the Suns, they are very good. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of shooters. They move the ball very well. A lot of people are saying it's the Phoenix Suns' year. Do I believe that? I don't know quite yet. But they are showing that they are the better team in the NBA. But you guys, we got about a minute and a half left in the show. You guys have honestly been tremendous. You guys have always committed yourselves to me. I appreciate you guys for locking in every single Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time to get your daily dose of Chalk It Up Sports. So it's going to be interesting to see how this stuff plans out. Backyard Bird says, nah, we get 20 to 25 games to throw during the season. If we lose, so what, these kids need time. Exactly. Great. That's a good point. Like, you can afford to put those young guys in early. But when you start getting later on in the season, you scared now. Doc Rivers did this 2 years in a row, not allowing the young guys to come in and get no time. And we expecting championship aspirations out of this man. That man, his thinking appears to be outdated at times. And he wants the respect. He wants the same respect that we give Greg Popovich, right? But Greg Popovich got 5 championships, 6 championships on his resume. Come on, man. You're not even sniffing his jockstrap. Y'all not even in the same league, not even in the same stratosphere. Let's just call that what it is, man. But like I said, you guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. You guys have truly made this an absolutely amazing live stream. Make sure you guys are locked in Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for your dose of Chalk It Up Sports Daily with your boy Tone DeShields II. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.